Well, here's the deal. We were going to wait until January 2018 to bring you this brand new kit from Anna Griffin, but we couldn't wait. We brought it in early. It's called a Fancy Flip card kit, and it's just wonderful.
It is, and it's huge.
Yes.
This is just full of all kinds of fun stuff that's going to make it easy to create cards, plus you're getting cutting dies, so you can just keep making them over and over into the new year and beyond.
And we're going to show you how. Come play with us. Okay, just look at this. This is the table. It's covered.
Wow. And yeah, so just like everything you need, all of these wonderful embellishments. Are we going to talk about the embellishments first?
Yeah, well, let's go with the cards.
With the cards. Okay, so these are the Fancy Flip die cut cards. You're getting 20 of these cards in a number of finishes, and if I just pull out one really quickly, it's die cut, it's scored, it's got gold foiling on this window,
and it's printed on both sides.
It is, right? And it's got patterns on both sides here, and it's got patterns over here, and I'm going to show you in a minute how this gets folded over, but when it does, it creates such a fun flip card.
Right.
But like we said, you've got 20 of those to choose from. You're also getting 20 cardstock pieces. Now these are also double-sided. Oh, I'm just messing up the die cuts. These are also double-sided, but they have kind of a different hue on each side, so that's fun, and you're going to use those with.
So the idea is you get the idea here, you get these so that you can use this set of cutting dies. Right. So this is a giant one, and this is going to enable you to make those fancy flip cards, and then there are these additional ones that are going to be embellishments. You also get a texture mat, because not only will these cut, these will also emboss your die cuts.
That's right. It's going to come with an instruction sheet, by the way, that tells you how to place these in your die cut machine. You're going to cut them, you're going to emboss them, and it tells you all about how to do that.
And then you have all of these.
All of this stuff.
Now, this is a ton of stuff, but I want to tell you, there are at least two in each one that you're seeing here. So it's just a bevy of beauties.
And quite a number of them. Most of them have a double image as well. So what you're seeing here, there's two of these, there's two of these.
It's got the opposite.
One, yeah, so you can sort of balance your card, or you can just use one.
Right.
And you've got all of these wonderful florals.
Right.
Look at those.
Beautiful.
Just beautiful. More florals, lots of different kinds. And I love these banners. Banner pieces, arrows, little hands. I mean, it's really kind of a vintage look. Presents, so those are lots of fun.
And that's really a typical Anna Griffin look. Very, very vintage. And these are foiled, and I think this is just wonderful. A lot of corners, and again, you can turn them. So multiples, as I said. Right. Greetings in banners, greetings in these circles, and again, these aren't just individual, there are multiples under here. So it just would take too much room and time to go through every single thing.
Altogether, you're getting 174 die cuts in here. 78 of those are going to be foiled die cuts. So lots and lots to play with and decide with.
Now, in addition, you're getting these sentiment stickers, and they are going to fit perfectly on the cards, and you can see lots of colors, lots of messages, birthday, special day, because you're special to me.
You're going to have enough for the front and for the inside, and like Paulette said, they are self-adhesive, and then you can use them matted onto these pieces.
Right, so you've got these and also these that are double-sided.
Right, so the gold, both sides, so you can choose where you want that. Do you need the gold or do you need that? It's all up to you. Plus you get foam tape squares within here, so that's pretty cool too for foam taping some of your pieces.
And then there's 30 envelopes to be used on the cards, but of course this is a never-ending kit because of the die cuts, so that's great.
I wanted to show you. So it comes in this huge box, and I just thought that was kind of a nice plus too. It's a nice hard-sided box, so when you open this up, it's really kind of an event getting into all of these wonderful
kind of
pieces.
Present for you.
Right.
And this is also the idea sheet, so showing finished examples of the front, Also giving step-by-step instructions how to put the things together. There's a whole thing of tips and techniques.
Those are great
and
tips.
More ideas on the back.
More ideas.
Yeah.
So these you can see are using all of the elements that are within the kit, but wait till you get that cutting die and start using what you have in your stash for creating more flip cards.
So what does this look like, you might be asking? Well, here you go. Now this is using one of the printed already die-cut pieces that are in it.
You just start layering those die cuts
embellishments
on there.
and then this just flips like
Ta-da.
so. Now the inside is purposely left blank. The idea is that might be where you want to write your message. If you don't want to, you know what? Just take one of the die cuts and put it there beside your name.
But it is nice that these are not glossy, these die cuts, these die cut cards, so you can write on there with just a ballpoint pen.
Yes, you can, right. And so you can see how this is going. So you saw these die cuts, you saw those, you also saw, now this can slip in here, although in this case, it just rests right in that frame.
It just rests right behind the frame. That's the way. And I just want to show you real quickly how those are put together. So you're going to start with, okay, I want to choose one of these, go through, choose whichever color you want. I think I'll take this one, and then I'm going to turn it over and start this way. Now the instructions that come with it tell you exactly how to do this, but I'm just going to briefly show you. They are scored here and here. So if you could see that, you'd see that there's a score in two places around this first area, here and here. And I'm going to start with the left one. I'm going to pop this through because that is cut and that piece pushes through like so. I'm going to fold it over, and then I'm going to take this piece, remember it's scored again on this side, and pop it back. That is the right side of your flip card, and then you just fold over the left side and it is assembled. So that's ready for you to start embellishing, and then you just go like that.
So that's the flip part.
Right.
And it nests perfectly right in that little frame.
Right. And you can start adding things. So then I bring in my elements. Well, what do I want to put on here? And like that card that Debbie created, she just started like placing a banner down here. And when you do this, you want to make sure that you're not gluing this all the way across your card. You don't want to glue it there, right? So I want to make sure that it's only glued on this side, and I kind of suggest opening it up to make sure that that happens. So a little bit of glue or tape right behind here, maybe behind there, and that's going to sit perfectly on that side of the card. And it's just kind of the really fun part of it, that you just start to layer die cuts, start decorating, add flowers. Just make sure that, and this is one of the tips that she gives on the instructions, make sure that you keep opening and closing so that you know you're not gluing it shut.
So that you can open and close it.
And of course you can add a sentiment, and on the inside, this was placed right here. Another little present can be there, but you can choose whatever you want and get a really cute look.
So again, here's that finished card, and you can see that on the banner, Debbie decided to add the flower die cuts. She also added a little flower die cut here, so it kind of extends, and I thought that was a nice little touch. Of course, being Debbie, she had to add some Dazzles to it, just to add a little bit more shine.
That just makes everybody happy.
Yeah, it does. And you can see the little birthday wishes is showing under the pennant, and you can see the Dazzles. So then as I open this, you have something pretty here, and then you also have that flip going on.
I'm going to point out that whatever you do to attach this to the front, you're going to be able to see it through here. So that's just really something to pay attention to.
And you want to be able to, because you want to have a peekaboo through there.
Right.
So this is one of the printed cards. Here is another, just to give you another style. The same idea is layering these gorgeous blooms and letting another one extend to that flap that's going to be on the inside of the card. I love the hearts. I think they're just beautiful.
I do, and I love the banner actually going over the window. You don't have to avoid the window. You can place things over it as long as your card is able to open with those elements on it.
And then you can see how these papers all match the way it's been designed. And then to open it, this is I Am Thankful for You. And these little corners are just lovely. And there are a ton of them. There's a ton of everything.
Perfect for framing that little writing area, or again, add a sentiment if you like. But I do like that these are adhesive back, so you just peel the back paper off and just stick them in place.
And in this case, didn't use any of the ones that are foiled, those pieces, just did this. Did add some pink border dazzles there, and just goes like this. So
really fun.
Really easy to put together. You've got a ton of embellishments.
It's going to go a long ways, that's right.
And when I first saw the die cut cards, they're very soft colors. And that's so that these die cuts are really going to pop. So they're not going to fight with them in any way. Here is another one, and I think this is fun to get a very different look. And in this case, you can see as we open it and pop it up, we have, Debbie has added some of the holographic paper.
So I think that's a great idea.
Which is very fun.
It is fun, and all she had to do, since these are self-adhesive, was remove the back, stick it onto that pink hearts holographic paper, and then just trim about 1/8 of an inch all the way around.
Right.
Really fun. It really adds something to it.
And this is pretty. This is a nice way to fill that space too, if you feel like you want to. So really nice. Now this is on your wedding day. Of course, this would be really a beautiful Valentine card, I think. So really nice.
Right.
Now, when you want to get into the cardstock, whether it's the cardstock that is part of the kit or another piece of cardstock, these are some a use of those additional cutting dies that come. And as we get in, I just want you to see how embossed they are. And that's with that texture plate. So you can see that one.
Right.
There's this
So
rectangle.
those cutting dies, those are going to cut, and then they're going to emboss using the embossing mat that comes with the kit. So you've got the dies, you've got the embossing mat, it's all right there, ready for you, ready to go. And I'm going to show you the placement of that on your die cutting, in your die cutting sandwich, which is what we call it, in between the plates. So I've got the cutting die here, nice big cutting die, and I have to mention that for the big shot that we used, it was necessary to use extended plates. So these are
because it's long.
The extended plates, because this cutting die is so long. That's right. So I start with those plates, and I've got the mat, which I'm not going to need immediately. I'm going to start with the plates. I'm going to start with the cutting edge of that cutting die against the paper, and then you just put it in your sandwich like this. Now, if I wasn't going to emboss, I wasn't going to do anything else, at this point I can just put this right on top of my platform, just like that.
And just run it through.
Run it through. So go ahead and run it through, then it's going to die cut that piece. I already did that, and that looks like this. Now, if I have one of the die cuts that I want to emboss something, that's going to be just a little bit different. So let me set this aside for a second and show you what that looks like. I've got my 2 sandwich plates, and there's
and of course,
one.
to do these, you don't need the extended platform. But
Correct.
if you've got it out, might as well use it.
And I'm going to put that cutting die part right toward the paper there. I'm going to put that within there. First, I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to take it just like that. I'm going to place it on my cutting mat, and I'm going to go ahead and run it through, and that's going to cut it. But when I'm ready to emboss it, I leave that on there, and I have to remove a few thinner plates here to get down to just the base plate, because I'm going to be adding this embossing mat, and I'm going to put it first the lower plate, then the embossing mat. Then this piece that I have just die cut, and I generally will leave it right there. So it's been die cut, it's right there. I'm going to place that right on top. So now that the cutting area of that cutting die is facing the paper and the embossing mat. That's so the embossing mat will push up into the cutting die. You don't want the embossing mat on the back side. You want it pushing up into those cutting blades, and it's self-healing mat, so that's fine.
I was just wondering that.
Right. Then
aren't you going to destroy
right
it?
on top, and now I'm going to run it through, and it's already been cut. Now it's going to push it through, and when it's done, it's going to look like this. It's going to have that embossing as well as the cut work. So that's the way to get that effect. Now that I've got this piece, It's just like the other one. I'm going to turn it over. I've got all of those score lines ready to go. I start by folding it over that way, and then I fold it back. Those score lines are right there, so it's really simple to just find those and fold that. And then fold it this way, and I would use a bone folder.
I was just thinking
do
that too.
But
yeah.
see, I did use the paper from the kit, the cardstock paper, and you can see that it's two-toned. It's a little bit darker on the outside and a little bit lighter, well, on the other side. Darker on one side, lighter on the other side. And one thing that Debbie did in this card is you can see that she has that specialty paper, let's bring it in, that specialty paper on this side. And to do that, she just took the cutting die and she laid that specialty paper. I've got a piece of black suede paper here, and she laid it just on one end and cut it again so that she could get a little front piece.
So then it would perfectly match.
So it would perfectly, you can just sort of glue that
Nice.
on one side. So I thought that would be pretty cool.
That's striking.
And if you did that, then you could take one, I mean, then it's fun to just start playing. You take these little pieces and open that up, and I think I'll glue that one right there, and maybe glue this one right there. Or there's a cutting die that will cut a little frame just like so, and I can put that around it. So there are a number of fun little things that you can do with this to get some different looks.
You know, I think my favorite are these flourishes. I'm just really enthralled with these. And to be able to make them anytime you want is really nice. You've got it out of the silver linen?
I did it out of the silver linen, and Debbie did it out of the gold,
just the gold metallic
paper.
right.
So that's really, so it's, you know, white on the back. But with that embossing, they look like real tin to me. It's something that's really
gorgeous.
fun. Also, in this card, if we open it up all the way, I want to point out that before Debbie mounted these on, she cut a hole in that panel. So that would be this panel right here. She cut a hole, let's see, we're talking about that one, a window so that you could see right through.
Okay, so that you get
those
that
little
filigree
areas.
Okay.
Really beautiful.
And, oh, that's really pretty. And then she also, behind this circle is this.
Right.
So
you can make several
have
of those
right.
medallions, and then you can place that right on top of it, and that's foam taped. The foam tape comes with it, and that's just really great.
So you want to bring in, I guess, the cover and the we got things all over.
We do. We have things everywhere.
Right.
But the cards, I mean, that's just a beautiful look.
They're just a wonderfulness. And so you've got things that you can do right now as soon as you open the box.
Right.
But then you have a tool that you can use forever and ever.
I can't stop. I'm just going to keep
I know,
bringing
they're
things
just
in. They're
everywhere.
So pretty, all of this gorgeous
So I
stuff.
think you can see why we couldn't wait. We didn't want to wait, and it's just in time if you want to kind of nudge somebody who maybe hasn't completely finished their Christmas shopping.
Yeah, this is a good one.
We'll see you next week.